Monday, May the 12th. That's right. Guess whose birthday it is? Mine! That's right. It is Mr. J's birthday. Turns the ripe age of 32, delusionally thinking he's in the age of 25. But I'll take it. And the news is back. I apologize in advance, however, that we've been busy. We're in the process of moving the studio, and there's just a lot of things happening right now that is unfortunately pulling us away from the pod. So you'll notice that yesterday that I only had a pod up there for the Arkham DLC, which is already overdue, but it wouldn't be fair not to post it because I did the work, so I hope you enjoyed listening to it. Everything will be back on track momentarily. It's just, like I said, we're in the process of moving stuff around, and we got the Comic-Cons coming up. First off, I want to make sure I say thanks to all the crowds on Twitter. Our Twitter page has blown up. I would say in the last week, we've blown up a 30-40 head count, and that's very impressive because we're not really doing anything different. Well, no, we're putting more content, and we're making sure that it's getting done. So, nothing wrong with that. We're making a lot of friends with other Comic-Cons. We got invited to Niagara Falls Comic-Con, which, you know what, I did not forget. I am going to make that soundbite very, very soon. So that I will do. I'll do a quick pop for it. So on June 6, 7, 8, you will go to Niagara Falls Comic-Con at the Scotiabank Center. And what's happening there? Well, we have a great list of people that's going to be there. You're going to have William Shatner, Ernie Hudson. Peter Mayhew was going to be there, but he recently canceled. There's so much more. Please go look us up on Twitter, Niagara Falls Comic Con. On Facebook, you can search them that way as well. And I believe the website's www.niagarafallscomiccon.com. Go there, get your tickets. It's not too bad. I think it's $60 for all 3 days. 3 days. We're going to be there all 3 days. The Droids are looking for Canada. So it's going to be a very, very busy weekend for us. Also, and the celebrities are going to be there. What? No. The cosplayers. They're the celebrities. They're the ones that do everything. They're the ones that walk around all day and take hundreds and hundreds of pictures. So one thing you'll know about the Droids is that we appreciate our cosplayers. So if you're a cosplayer, go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back. We appreciate you. But this week we have a lot of news. So with that said, let's get going. And let's kick this pig. So John Mayer's great TV show that came out last year, Dracula, has been officially got the stake today. I call bullshit. Maybe it's because it was a good show. Is that why we're canceling it? I'm not stretching the truth here, NBC, but really, you make poor decisions all the time. This feels like another Almost Human situation, or Firefly, or there's so many other shows that you cancel that become cult classics. And you know what? Honestly, if I find out 2 years down the road that there's a giant cult classic for this, like a cult following, not shocked here. I think that would not surprise me whatsoever. I think it's horse shit, to be perfectly honest with you. But, it's okay. Let's go ahead and renew S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, well, you know what? I'm going to save that for later. That's a rant for later. Oh, who knew it was next? I didn't even know. I literally just compile lists of news, and I just randomly go through it. And sure enough, I pull out of that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It comes to a conclusion this week, thank God. And they got renewed for a second season, but you're going to cancel a caliber show like Almost Human? I'm sorry, I know it sounds like I'm asking with a question and stuff and things, but this doesn't make sense to you. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to the fucking lamp behind me. It doesn't even make sense to the midget that I have kidnapped and tied up in the basement. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. Because you got Coulson Clark Gregg, which, he made a comment once, and it really did piss me off. I don't remember the exact comment, but it was more or less the better than everyone type of comment, which never sits over with me. But the point is that the show, it took 19 episodes for it to get better. And you had to bring in Bill Paxton. And you had to bring in all these little cameos from all the Marvel characters that is played through the movies to get some type of notoriety. Does anyone else see this wrong? You make a show like Dracula that kind of loosely follows the storyline of Dracula, and it's gory, it's fun, and it's awesome. Wait, no! You can't do that. But we can make Hannibal, which fucking fucks up the entire universe that has to deal with Hannibal, which is not bad. It actually wrote it so well that it doesn't end the world per se. But you're going to sit there and tell me that we can give Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. another season plus? We'll also give Agent Carter from the first Captain America movie a TV show? What the fuck? are you doing? Obviously, AVRAD is not running the operations anymore. I actually recently found out he's not. I had no idea. I thought he was still involved. So clearly, whoever the new asshat that's running the Marvel industry clearly needs to get a good swift kick in the fucking junk. Not in the ass, not in the face, not in the throat, which I normally say. I mean junk. To the point that he spits out walnuts like Charlie Sheen did in Hot Shots Part 2. This is ridiculous. End rant. And Megan Fox says she didn't plan children. Well, the feeling's mutual. We didn't plan you. Well, Nintendo's like, hey, we need to actually get back in this console war thing that we're totally getting raped and pillaged over. Because, you know, PlayStation's technically like the Romans, and Xbox is kind of like the Vikings, and there's a lot of raping and really weird combinations of food happening, right? Anyways, now, think about it this way, Nintendo. It's been proven that you can have a failing console every year for the next 50 years, and your doors will stay open because you made that much money. And good for you. Good for you, Reggie. I like you. There's nothing wrong with you. I think you're quite a funny guy. When I watch E3 conferences and shit like that, you're humorous, but I mean, your business strategy sucks. Like, I have no idea that Nintendo is like, what are you going to do today? Well, I have this giant jerry can of gasoline, and I'm just going to pour it on this pile of $1 million. What the fuck? Oh, that was the GameCube. That actually made us money. We're just burning that now. What? Like, Nintendo has not had a fully profitable console since the GameCube. Yes, the Wii has been profitable, sure. But I mean, to the point that it made so much money that they're like, here we go, here we go. The Wii is losing money. Why is the Wii losing money? Well, the Wii doesn't have adult-orientated game. No fucking shit! Like, I mean, when it boils down to it, Nintendo had a chance years ago to get into this race. PlayStation, before they came, PlayStation said, hey, Nintendo, we want to go to a CD-orientated console. Are you in? They're like, well, cartridges seem to work for now, so we're going to stick with that. You should have took it. If you can do hindsight 2020, you would be beating the shit out of Microsoft. You already had established characters, established video game franchises. You already had game developers like Capcom and Square Enix, Squaresoft, Square whatever. So many different things that were already in line. You already had it. And you said, you know what? Nope. We're going to make the N64. And silence. See where I'm going with this? There is nothing wrong with the N64, and a lot of good games came out on the N64. But that should have been their last console before they went to full disc base, which they did, but they went to micro disc base. I like the lunchbox. Everyone likes the GameCube. It had the Resident Evil remakes, you had the Metal Gear Solid remake, which is probably one of the most badass remakes ever created. That goes for both Resident Evil and that. You had Eternal Darkness. I remember having this conversation with Rander about how that game scares the shit out of yourselves. And then they went to the Wii, they're like, we're going to go motion controlled because that's what they want. No, kids want to be fat and lazy and sit on the couch all day and not move too much. That's where World of Warcraft capitalized on so much money because, like, I don't have to leave the computer. I can just sit here and move my mouse every 5 minutes. It'd be fun. I know, I'm one of them. Like, I get it. But I think Nintendo should go back to basics and go, we need to fix this. Like, this is a raging dumpster fire, and we just let this fucker burn. Like, we need to go back. So now they're going to go back to make a new console for small markets that they never made money for to try and make money off it. How about this? Because I know me and Rick are going to have a pod over this eventually, and I'm sure Rainer might jump in on it. How about you make a console that actually can compete? The Wii made a lot of money only because it was cheap. That's the only reason why it made money. The console, the games behind it, and blah, 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 were all shit. I mean, there's no good games on the Wii that would intrigue me anyways. Maybe for kids, sure, we could all agree to that. But beyond that, I would never want to play Call of Duty on that goddamn thing. I was actually thinking about saying, I'll probably try the new Batman Arkham City, whatever Armored Edition they had came out. No, I'm not going to. Their controller sucks, the concept sucks, and the game console sucks. So why would I want to do that? On a side note, we want to wish a speedy recovery to Hugh Jackman. I did know he's been battling skin cancer on and off for a few years. I was just happened to trip over the article, but I know he had some of the cancerous cells removed last year from what I read the report, but then apparently he had another issue with it again. So please ensure that if, understand we're geeks and we probably don't see the sunlight that often, when you do go out in the sunlight, make sure you put some suntan lotion on. Skin cancer kind of sucks. They're making a sequel to Point Break? Wow. You're like, okay, well, all you want to do is just roll on your back and shoot in the air while screaming. Because, it's funny, I was actually looking for a clip to put into this podcast, and I couldn't find one, which was very odd. I'm normally pretty good at finding clips, especially when they're completely random. But it's kind of awesome because Gerard Butler is going to play the main character. How is this not win? And now they just signed on Rainn Winston, which is known for me anyways, as the French from The Departed. He's played so many different roles, but that's the role I will always remember him as. This is just a series of win that is not, could be fathomed, because there's just too much of it. Heads probably will explode over this. And finally, Godzilla! Yeah, I did that. It's a funny story about that. You know what? I'll tell you the funny story because it's kind of bad. But I'm sure you'll laugh at it anyways. So I'm in the Mandarin, and I'm not going to say names because I know the one of the party who listens to this podcast, so I know he's going to laugh. But in the middle of the Mandarin, one of my friend's larger brother back in the day before he lost all his weight thought it would be funny to constantly keep yelling Godzilla in the Mandarin, like stomping on the ground and stuff. Oh, Godzilla! Because he was trying to explain the story how he used to do that to his dog he had years ago. Yeah, it's kind of racist. But it was funny at the time, and it wasn't me. So as long as I didn't do it, then I'm technically not guilty. But with that said, we're talking about Godzilla. Godzilla! Wow. The reviews I have read completely not want to make me watch this movie. I think, hold on. I gotta read the one line that made me shit myself laughing. To be fair, yes, this version is a marked improvement over the disastrous 1998 Godzilla from director Roland Emmerich. But that's like saying the recent RoboCop remake is better than food poisoning. Is it too much to ask that Godzilla movie feature more Godzilla than saying Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead featurettes to Hamlet? 60 years after debuting on the big screen, Godzilla is still a global superstar. If Americans are going to build big budget movies around him, they can at least give him the legend more screen time. Ow. There's more. There's like, some of these one-line are very witty. It's basically not good reviews at all. I was really wanting to watch it, mainly because I'm a huge Bryan Cranston fan from Breaking Bad, which everyone is, and everyone wants him to be Lex Luthor, blah, 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 blah. But I think to hear reviews like this about something that should be so big, that's kind of bad. That kind of terrifies me. But what can I say? I still haven't seen Spider-Man yet. I'm going Tuesday. I'll probably go see Godzilla over the weekend, whenever that comes out, and then I'll write a review for that. That is not a good start. Like, I don't take many people's reviews to... Like, Andrew's reviews, I would always take to heart, because his reviews are always blatant, to the point, and really honest. A lot of the reviews I've read from other people are very empty. They're very just made to get shock value out of you. Like, well, I wouldn't watch this. I'd rather eat a bowl of broken glass. Okay, well, I would pay you $5 to watch you eat a bowl full of broken glass. Just because I want to know what the experience looks like. Challenge accepted. So I'm still going to go see it. I just don't... I'm going to be walking into this movie knowing it's not good, but I don't think it's going to deserve the reviews it's getting right now. So, with that said, thank you yet again. This is the end of this week's episode of the News Podcast with the Droids. I appreciate all of you. I know I tell you this every podcast because it's only fair, because I don't want you guys thinking, well, I fucking listen to this guy show you and you say thank you. I do say thank you. Don't ever think I don't say thank you. Also, besides being my birthday, who gives a shit about that? I want to thank everyone on Facebook. Google Plus is now floundering. It's huge now. Our G Plus accounts already have like 15,000 views since I opened it a month ago. Fantastic. Our Twitter page constantly growing. Our Facebook page, even with the Facebook nerf, is still growing. And our podcast page here, which we launched in December, it's only May, and we've already had 10,000 views. We have a lot more listens through our feeds and through the page itself. So, like I always say to you guys, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening. And if there's ever anything you want us to review, please feel free to email us at thedroids you are looking for, Canada at outlook.com. gmail.com. I will respond to it immediately. I'll be more than happy to do anything. Stay tuned for this week. There will be another podcast between me and Rick Rice, who's been on the page. Like I said earlier, Raider might even jump in on about Nintendo's new floundering of what they're doing and what they're not doing. As well, there could be even more podcasts coming along the way next weekend. We haven't really decided what's going to be happening in regards to that, but I will keep you posted as soon as I know. And thanks again for everything. Enjoy your chimichanga.